beginning of the video, this is a devastating triumph flip. Now for those of you who do not know what a triumph routine is, and this is your first triumph trick, a triumph is basically where the cards are mixed face up and face down, and then through magical process the cards are all self-righted except for one card, which is the spectator's card. Now there are a load of different variations of triumphs out there when they involve like cutting packets on the table and turning them over. I think this is just like a super simple one. It's impromptu, you can do it with a borrowed deck, you can do it standing up or sitting down, and it's very adaptable and tailoring. So let's have a look at how that trick looks. So for this trick, the magician will allow the spectator to freely select any card of their choosing. The card is then placed in the centre of the deck and shuffled, and for good measure is shuffled once again. Now the cards are turned back and forth over and over again, mixing them face up and face down, so they are truly, well and truly mixed. We show the spectator that some are face to back, some are back to face, and some are back to back. But just like that, the cards are all now the right way round, except from one card, which was the spectator's card, the 10 of clubs. And that is how you do the triumph flip. So now we know what the trick looks like. Let's get the camera face down and let's look at the mechanics on how we do this. Okay, so this routine only requires one slight hand move, and that is a control to either the top or the bottom. To streamline the trick, you can just control this card to the bottom of the deck and skip out one of the phases. However, what I like to do is I like to do this shuffle, this overhand shuffle, because it appears a lot more convincing to the spectator. So I'll show you how it's done. So we're going to let the spectator freely select any card they so wish, because this is a truly impromptu trick. So we've got the 8 of spades, you can get to sign it, you can do whatever you want with the card, and you're going to return it into the deck, and you're going to control it to the top of the deck. So for this, we're just going to use a double undercut. So put the card in, and cut some cards like this, and now the card's on top. From here, we're going to do an overhand shuffle. Now I taught this on an earlier episode, and what you're going to do is you're going to pull off their card and then start shuffling the rest of the cards on top. So their card is now on the bottom, and you can retain that stock and just keep shuffling over and over again. So I'm going to show you that with the card face up so you can see where it is. So we're going to put the card into the centre of the deck, we square up, we double undercut to the top. We then take the card off and we shuffle loads of cards on top, and we can keep continuing to shuffle as long as we retain their card on the bottom. From here, this is a principle that I really love, and I use this when I do Out of This World. It's a good way to get set up into it, and what you could, or it's a good way if you as well, if you just want to sort through the cards very quickly and you want to have all the cards that are facing one way, facing another way. I'll show you the principle. It makes sense in practice rather than just speaking. So what you're going to do is you're going to push off as many cards as you like, doesn't really matter, and you're going to turn them over like this. You're going to push off some more and turn them back, and you're going to keep going back and forward, pushing cards off like this until you get to the very last card, which is their card. You turn the deck over and you put their card on top. Okay, so I'll show you this one more time. So you're going to push some cards off, turn them over. And what is good here as well is this turn back and forth like this, not to keep going 180, 180. The constant back and forth motion kind of in the spectator's mind makes them believe that it really is mixed face up and face down. So you get to the last card, you place that on top. Now what it looks like is that to the spectator, all the cards are mixed, but if I spread them, you'll see all of the face up cards are in this part of the deck, and all these cards down here are face down, except from the spectator selection, which is on the top of the deck. And you're going to do a convincer here. It's worth noting that prior to doing this trick, you sort of bend and bevel your cards, so you get this natural break in the centre. And I'll show you why that comes in handy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a cut from the top 10 to 20 cards, and we're going to turn around and show the spectator like this. And you're doing a wrist kill action here, so you're rotating the wrist out. You pick up the pack, you rotate out, and you're going to show me you've got face down to back. You go, oh, we'll cut again somewhere. We've got some that are back to face down. You put the cards back on. Now, for the third cut that we're going to do, you're going to pick up at that break, that natural break where the cards are beveled. So you can see that here, there's that thick dark line where there's a gap. Right there. Okay, so you're going to do, you pick up at that point where the cards are beveled, you turn over and say you've got some back to back. Now normally, you'd put the cards back on like this, but for this action, you're just going to drop them on top. Now, a lot of people think that that's going to draw a lot of attention because you're not putting them back in the same place. I have performed this hundreds of times. No one even notices that small slide. And what you've essentially done now is put all the face down cards face down except from one card, their card. I'll show you the breaks one more time. So you're going to do 3 breaks, one above that bevel, and you're going to show it face to back. You're going to break from the bottom of the pack and show back to face. And then if you push, you can sort of get that, it'll bounce back and you can naturally grab that break here. Show back to back, chuck the cards on top, put the cards down. The entire trick is done at this point. The rest is patter. You spread the cards and obviously the only card face up is their card. It's all well and good knowing the trick, but it's all about the patter that goes with it. So here on this channel we don't just give you a trick to learn, we give you a lot of patter alongside that. We give you the basics so that you can go forward and perform this. So here, this is the patter that I like to use when I'm doing the trick. So say to spectator, select any card you like. I always think like I'm a jokey magician. So when they go to take a card, any card, they go to pick it and say, oh no, not that one, I need that one. And then they pause and they go, no, I'm just joking, you can take any card. So they're going to take a card out. It's going to be the Ace of Spades. We're going to have them sign it, whatever. I return it back to the deck and say, okay, you see normal magic tricks. Now at this point, the card is fully sticking out the back. They can't see this. And this is about time misdirection. So I could go straight into doing a double undercut, but then it looks like I've done something with their card. So what I do is have the card sticking at the back and I sort of hold the cards quite loosely. I say to them, right, so you've probably seen a lot of magic tricks where magicians sort of conjure up cards and disappear cards. We're going to do something a little bit different. And you know, I think those tricks are quite easy, so I want to do something difficult for you guys. This is when I swap hands, I now create a break, and I do a double undercut. And say, right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to really mix up these cards. I'm going to make it really hard to try and find your card. So the first stage is just shuffling it. We're just going to shuffle your cards, lose it entirely. Now at this point as well, I might say to them, now magicians are quite good at track and shuffling, so to make it a lot harder for myself, I'm going to mix up the cards a different way. And this justifies this action of doing the cards face to back. And you should see it because they really then think, oh, actually what's happened here? And again, we've had a lot of time misdirection here, so they're not able to follow the process of where the card has gone yet. Now we're at this stage. I say, okay, now these cards are really mixed up. Look, if you have a look, some of them are face to back. Some of them I think are like back to face, there we go. And if I can cut it just right, and I like this point of, if I can cut it just right and I look at the deck, because it makes it look like I'm looking for something, like if I can just cut it right, yeah, there you go, look, I can find some that are back to back, so these are really mixed up, and that gives a little bit more time to misdirection for me to put the cards back on top the opposite way around. From this point onwards I put the cards down. All the spectator really has seen is me shuffle up the cards. They haven't seen me do any sleight of hand, and the pattern and the time misdirection has allowed that to happen. Now the cards are on the table, or if we're not in a table environment, I can put them in their hand, I can let them hold on to them. It doesn't really matter. Now the magic's done. And now at this point, like I said, it's all patter. So at this point I might say, okay, so the cards are really, really messed up, like ridiculously messed up. Now it would be, you know, it'd be really impossible, wouldn't it now, for the cards which are in your hand to all be the right way around except from one card, which was your card. And at this point I don't even know what your card is. So for the first time, do you want to tell us what your card is? And they might say, the Ace of Spades. And then you go, okay, we'll spread through the cards, or we spread them on the table, and there's obviously one card. There we go, there's one card, and that is the Ace of Spades.